St. Ursula Academy, ranging from freshmen through juniors in college, here to share with you their college experiences of using our Academy alum traits of leader, thinker, nurture, and prophet. So I'm going to turn it over to them. They can introduce themselves to you. And then we'll end with a question and answer session where you guys can ask anything, any questions you want about college and where we're going from here. Okay?
Just for introductions, I'm Annalise Cahill, and I'm a sophomore at Xavier University.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Walsh, and I'm a junior at the University of Cincinnati.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya Birdmiller, and I graduated last year, so I'm a freshman at UC.
Hi guys, I'm Mackenzie Lindsay. I'm also a freshman at UC.
Yeah, so I'm the oldest, so I'm going to go first. But hello everyone, I cannot express how excited I am to be back at St. Ursula Academy. For those of you that don't know me, like I said, my name is Katie Walsh, and I graduated from Ursula in 2018. So I'm currently a junior at the University of Cincinnati, and I'm majoring in finance. Right now, I'm the president of my sorority. I'm taking hybrid classes, and I'm interning part-time for Ball and Gainer Investment Council. Sorry, my mouse keeps falling. Some of my hobbies include fashion, photography, working out, and reading. I'm from Cincinnati. I went to St. Gertrude, and I have 3 younger brothers who currently go to or graduated from St. X. I have a brother who's your age, so I know exactly what you all are going through right now. It's not easy. You have a lot of decisions and changes ahead, but if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to embrace it and to soak up your last semester in high school. So when I was thinking about what to share with you all today, I couldn't help but take a trip down memory lane. My first day at Ursula was 7 years ago, way back in 2014. I rode the bus, walked through the line of teachers at the front school, and somehow made my way to Mr. King's class for advisory. When I finally made it to lunch, I was so confused how everyone kind of knew each other. And I soon found out that most girls had Instagram, which my old flip phone did not have the capability for. So I was cleaning out my room with my mom the other day, and I was like, I have to bring this. It's so old, unbelievable. But I'm gonna put it down real quick. Anyway, so when I think about how excited and nervous my freshman year self was, to the young woman that I became as I walked across the stage in my white gown, I cannot help but smile. Every single one of you is beyond blessed to attend this school. This place is special, it's genuine, and it empowers you by helping you become a thinker, leader, nurturer, and prophet in various ways. So let's start with thinker. Every single day at school, you are challenged to think and study and learn new perspectives that enrich your life. All of you, right now, are thinking about your future, preparing to embark on a new and fun, challenging journey. I'll share my story about how I ended up in finance at UC, and maybe it will help some of you. So, I'm a super indecisive person, so when I was picking a major, it basically just took the process of elimination. I am a math person, thanks to Mrs. Poe, and I love being on student council, so I chose the business route. I was drawn to UC because I loved the co-op program. I found the promise of real-life work experience and the possibility of travel very alluring. My accounting class with Mr. Fleming gave me a nice head start, and I landed my first internship at Ernst & Young in the Transaction Advisory Services Department. The following year, I interned at Ernst & Young again and had the opportunity to travel the Midwest at the age of 20 for a few weeks. I realized I did not love accounting, so I switched to finance. I got an internship at Ball and Gainer Investment Council, where I still work today. I can honestly say this is due to the confidence that I gained from attending an all-girls high school. I'm not afraid to speak in class, even when there are less than 5 girls in my finance courses. In my first finance class, there were 5 girls and 45 boys, so get ready if you're a business major. If any of you are interested, I would be happy to talk to you about my experience because there are so many opportunities for women in finance. My biggest piece of advice when picking a major is to take a deep breath, think about your strengths and your passions, and reflect on different possibilities. Then pick a major and go for it. You are all beyond prepared, and careers are often very dynamic. So as long as you get a degree in something that you enjoy, the sky is the limit. Next up, we have leader. While I was at Ursula, I was a PAL and I was on student council. These experiences helped me to learn so much about myself and inspired me to run for executive board positions on campus. I was the vice president of marketing for Lindner Ambassadors at UC, and I was also the chief financial officer of my sorority. I was able to have these positions before the pandemic, but unfortunately our world changed dramatically and my leadership roles greatly shifted as well. Convincing people to pay money for a sorority that cannot have events, refunding members who paid for events that got canceled, and attempting to virtually market the Lindner College of Business to prospective students were a few of the challenges that I faced. However, I learned throughout these struggles that to be a good leader, you must be dynamic and flexible. All of you have been challenged to be dynamic this year. I know it isn't what you thought it would look like, but I'm proud of your bravery, and I hope you know that your ability to adapt will serve you well in your future. Now let's move on to nurture, which I think is most relevant in our world today. As the current president of my sorority, I've been focusing on boosting morale in my chapter amidst this isolating world. We have set up scheduled coffee dates, a virtual book club, and some virtual trivia events with fraternities just to keep spirits high. I can assure you that campuses all over the country are doing their best to make college as normal as possible during these tough times. However, at the end of the day, it's been a rough year and it's important to take care of yourself. Yes, sometimes this can be stress buying a pair of shoes. I'm very guilty of this. But my favorite way to be a nurturer is through prayer. Especially in college, it is so important to take time to just reflect on your life and share your thoughts with God. My favorite form of prayer is through journaling, but it can also be helpful just to take a break from the busyness of the day and sit in silence for like 5 minutes. This time spent with God will re-energize you and bring you clarity. Lastly, I will touch on how to be a prophet in college. To me, being a prophet is embracing the values faith, integrity, and courage and taking them to the next level. At Ursula, you are surrounded by intelligent and bold young women and challenged by thoughtful teachers every single day. You are beyond prepared for college, although it can seem scary. I want you to convert your frustrations from this past year into passion, like Miss Smith has on her wall in her classroom. Well-behaved women seldom make history. Remember to be graceful in your actions, but always be bold. I know that all of you have the power to be fantastic prophets in your community, and just know that a pandemic will not stop you from doing that. My final piece of advice for y'all today is to think back on your freshman year self. I want you to bring that version of you with you to college. The version of high school you that rolled out of bed in the morning, didn't care what you were wearing. The version that spoke proudly in Socratic seminars. The version that volunteered her time to service projects on the weekends or made up goofy dances at lunch. The part of you that deep down is unapologetically herself. Don't get caught up in drama or perfect Instagram profiles or the internships people have or the vacations they're going on. Block out the noise that life will throw at you and start creating the life that you want in college. Make sure to always remember what this school has done for you and that you have an amazing network of women that will continue to inspire and help you. Be graceful and bold and never forget where you came from. Thank you all so much.
Awesome job, Katie. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Brunsman, for organizing this and having us. And thank you for all of you for listening to my thoughts on my vision and the vision of St. Angela Merici, how it's affected my life and my journey to get here. So, as I said before, I'm Annalise Cahill, and I graduated from St. Ursula in May of 2019. I now attend Xavier University as a sophomore, studying in a program called Philosophy, Politics, and the Public, where I've been able to become a peer mentor at Xavier, intern on several local campaigns, and serve as a senator on student government. I'm also a double major in theater with a minor in public relations, which has given me opportunities in the realm of arts administration and a job in the school's box office. All of these positions, including my job as a barista at Starbucks and a sales clerk at a small business, require me to think about the values of an Academy alum every day. I give you all this information as someone who has been fairly well versed in the realm of these values, and to show you how important it is to reflect upon your role as a leader, thinker, nurturer, and prophet when thinking about your future. I know I have much more to learn, but I would love to offer you my thoughts on how these traits are applicable to your transformation into an adult. Right now, I know you're in a very uncertain and stressful time. You're a full-time student, maybe with a job, sport, or extracurricular that takes up much of your time. On top of this, you're filling out college applications, scholarships for programs, scheduling interviews, or finding other plans to follow your upcoming graduation. You're preparing to potentially move out, and you're daydreaming about the infinite number of possibilities that could come into your life over the next year. You're making your first impactful adult decisions and truly becoming a young woman. And to address the elephant in the room, you're doing this in a world where your plans have been completely turned upside down by a global pandemic. And where we are in a historic time of tension and polarity. I know you're probably feeling overwhelmed and tired, and trust me, I hear you. And in case you don't hear it enough, you're doing the best you can. And you're exactly where you should be. Now let's break all this down into how you can use the Academy Alum values to help you not only survive, but thrive during this change. You have been given a unique, rare, and empowering gift of a well-rounded education here at St. Ursula. And I promise, everyone here keeps talking about these values because they truly do help you succeed. As a leader, it's your responsibility to think critically about the information you consume and to create opportunities for yourself and others through honesty and leading by example. In your future, you will encounter many people with which you do not agree, and many classmates that do not have the same background as you do. You may have difficulties getting your peers to participate in a project, or you may experience tension with a classmate on a controversial topic being discussed in the classroom. As a leader, the most important step you can take is to ensure that everything you say has merit and integrity at the root. It's okay and very important to experience disagreements with each other. The hard part, and the part that will distinguish you as a leader, is to craft your words and actions based upon honesty. Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to be elected to Congress, said, "You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. Being loud is not productive if your message creates divisiveness. Use your gift of empathy and try and understand others. Be within the minority of people who want to sit down, listen, and contribute to the conversation instead of stepping on it. This is what's going to make people listen to you, and this is what is going to make you a leader." Being a thinker draws more upon your critical, reflective thinking skills and uses logic, application, and creativity to inspire yourself and others. I've found that within academia and the various odd jobs I've had as a teenager and college student, it's easy to fall into the monotony and routine. The way to stay engaged in your future academic or career life is to latch onto the topics that intrigue you and continue to ask questions. When you read an article of news, an academic journal for class, a post from a friend or family member, always ask why. Draw upon your experience, your wonderful education, and your pre-existing knowledge to add more into the parts of everyday life that might not seem as glamorous. Work not only for a grade, but for understanding of a different perspective, or more knowledge about a topic that you may not have understood before. Not only will this make you a quick problem solver, which, by the way, is a great buzzword to throw on a resume, but it will add meaning into your classes, jobs, and relationships. Primatologist Jane Goodall once said, "We have the choice to use the gift of our life to make the world a better place, or not to bother." So use that complex, beautiful, and capable brain of yours to make the world as big as you can. Be a thinker. A nurturer values self-care, self-acceptance, and uses their self-love to look out for others and to support them. I found this trait to be the hardest to uphold because of the hardships of college life and the isolation that has been caused by the pandemic. Having to adapt to many online classes, losing a lot of my in-person contact with my friends and family has sometimes created a negligence in self-care with me and my roommates. It's also more difficult to nurture my loved ones without being able to give my grandma a hug or visit with my close friends as much in person. While I understand that this may seem like a low priority to some, caring for yourself is an outlet to literally every other aspect of life. As a young woman, there is a stigma around almost every choice we make. In our clothes, our food, our choice as to whether or not we want to pursue a career, how we act in a classroom or workplace, and in many other regards. The best way to break this stigma for yourself and those around you is to nurture yourself and move on the path of self-love. This path is contagious to others, and it helps you nurture others in the process. Just the other night, my 3 roommates and I were having a really rough day, so we decided to put away our phones for the night, cook some dinner, and just play Just Dance and do some yoga to recharge during the week. Spread love wherever you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Those are the words of St. Mother Teresa, who I consider to be a pro at nurturing, and how we can love, and how love can transform the lives of young women. Continue to be kind to yourself and nurture the parts of yourself and others that will make them grow. Finally, being a prophet requires courage and a mindset of resolution and persistence. There are going to be many times in your life, as I'm sure you're feeling right now, that you're exhausted. In these times, it's going to be easy to slack off or to simply meet requirements instead of working for more. In these times, the best thing you can do for yourself is to push for what you know is right. In college, or simply as you start to build more professional and adult relationships, you're going to start to hear people say things that might be inappropriate or offensive. You're going to witness or hear about events that are hurtful or degrading to your peers and your friends. So speak up, work for change. Use your privilege of a quality education to work for the people that aren't as lucky as you. Spend more time in places where people don't think or act in the same way that you do, to gain another perspective. This is what it means to be a prophet. In honor of the recent passing of one of my role models of a prophet who's historically paved the way for young women just like you and me, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg told us to fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Be a prophet in a way that uses your skills as a thinker, leader, and nurturer to bring people together and a true woman of faith, integrity, and courage. I appreciate you listening to my thoughts on the Tradesman Academy alum, but I know that you already act upon these traits as part of being a St. Ursula woman every day. I'm fully confident that the crowd sitting in front of me today is going to enter college, the workforce, and other environments with the traits of an Academy alum and make these places better because of your presence. It takes work, but if there's anything St. Ursula girls know how to do, it's work. Use your resources. Sure, I've referenced some of my role models like Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, Dr. Jane Goodall, St. Mother Teresa, and Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who've inspired my work, but I also encourage you to look at your role models here at St. Ursula around you. Look at your grandmothers, mothers, sisters, your president, Lilia Kramer, who works every day to create the most positive and profound educational environment she can for all of you. Lisa Kaido works tirelessly to organize events and content that implements the values of an Ursuline woman into the classroom to ensure that we enter the world as adults with faith, integrity, and courage. Dr. Mary Thomas, your principal, works with the National Coalition of Girls to make sure that we continue to be well-rounded girls that are held to the highest standard of education. These are just 3 examples of the dozens of women and men that work to prepare you for your future. So pick their brains, ask them questions, and look up to them for how to be a thinker, leader, nurturer, and prophet. So thank you all for listening to my thoughts on the Tradesman Academy alum as they apply to your future, and I can't wait to see the incredible things that you all do with your gift of an Ursuline education. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mai Gonzalez. I graduated from SU last year, and I'm a freshman in the College of Medicine dual admissions program at the So I graduated from SUA last year, and now I'm a freshman in the College of Medicine dual admissions program at the University of Cincinnati. Transitioning into college has made me realize how much St. Ursula affected the way that I see myself as well as the world around me. Going into freshman year, I was probably the shyest girl in our entire class. The thought of standing up here in front of all these people would have absolutely terrified me. At the time, I was only involved in what my friends were in because I was terrified of doing anything that would prevent me from blending in. This all changed when I lost my dance teacher to a motorcycle accident in the middle of my sophomore year. Her name was Sam, and when I tell you that she lived every moment to the fullest, that is a total understatement. She was captain of the UC dance team and traveled all around the world as a dancer for Royal Kirby. Losing Sam completely transformed the way I saw my life. This was the first time I realized the value of being a reflective thinker. It was in these moments that I started to think about my why. What I mean by this is that I began to reflect on the purpose behind my actions. Sam lived a life that touched literally thousands of others, and I wanted my life to be one that people could look back on someday and say the same. I hope that none of you have to go through an experience like this to find your why, but I do wholeheartedly hope that you find it if you haven't already. Lucky enough for you, and for myself as well, the SUA community is the perfect place to facilitate your why. Being in an environment of all girls provides such a unique web of support that you can both fall back on and be empowered by as you live out whatever purpose it is that you find. For me, I decided that I was going to start by running for junior class president. This was very scary for me to put myself out there like that, and I wasn't expecting to make it as an officer, let alone be elected president. But this was the first time in my life where I began to see myself as a real leader, and it was all because my St. Ursula sisters believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. It wasn't the title or the position that led me to this new self-image. It was knowing that the person I aspired to become was someone that my peers already knew by heart. What followed over the next couple years was a sort of domino effect. Seeing that I had such a strong support system at SUA was the push I needed to realize how much I genuinely enjoyed making others happy. It's such a cliche to say that I love doing service, but I truly mean it when I tell you that nothing makes me happier than knowing that I contributed to the happiness of another person. The experiences that I began to find myself in were exactly that of the nurturer I had heard about since freshman year. This is what cemented in me that I wanted to pursue a career of medicine. I can't even begin to tell you how much Sam saved my life by her example. The purpose that she instilled in my heart was the impetus of all these transformative events, and I want more than anything to be this person for someone else. I cannot wait to have the opportunity to touch people's lives as a physician every single day. When I think of our profit theme from last year, I'm reminded of how often we talked about living out our values through action. And being a medical professional, I hope that the work I do in my future will allow me to be exactly that by honoring the invaluable lessons Sam taught me. I know that you guys are at a time in your life where the question of who do I want to be is being thrown at you every second of every day. If you don't know the answer right now, I promise you that that is not just normal, not just okay, but normal. While I've learned more than I ever could have imagined about my time at SUA, I'm still learning and I have so much growth left to do. The stress of deciding where you want to spend the next 4 years of your life is one that I certainly don't miss. My heart goes out to those of you who are like me and have 15 different ideas of what that might look like. What I hope you find comfort in knowing is that so many of my friends have already switched their majors, and some of them have even switched schools before the first semester was over. I'm telling you this so that you know that there is no wrong decision. If worst comes to worst, you are not locked in for life, and you can always change your path when you feel like your heart's not in it. With that being said, I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and you will all end up exactly where you are meant to be. The truth is that you are all lucky enough to have a plethora of incredible opportunities out there to choose from. And even if the path you end up taking isn't the one you always had set in your mind, I sincerely believe that it will be the one you are meant to follow. I know that your class especially is used to expecting the unexpected and being flexible when things don't go exactly according to plan. If you're like me and you like to plan out every second of every day for the rest of your life, I'm sure that these past several months have been absolutely gutting, and my heart goes out to you guys for how unfair this year has been to you. While I know no amount of you guys are so strong, and we love how you guys are making the best of the situation, will actually make the situation any better, I really do think in my heart that the gifts your class graduates with will be unlike that of any class before you. You guys are flexible leaders, creative thinkers, seasoned nurturers, and true prophets whose voices are being heard even when you think they may not be. I'm sure it feels impossible to picture what college is going to look like given the circumstances, but I want to tell you that as a freshman living out this new experience in a COVID world, it has been more incredible than I could have ever hoped for. Disregarding the obvious, missing out on first game days and other classic freshman experiences, I still found so much goodness in my freshman year, and I hope it brings you some comfort in knowing that so many of the best parts of college will still be there, even if your freshman year looks like mine. The biggest part of this, and a piece of advice that I want to leave you with, is that getting involved has been the basis of all the goodness I have experienced. While I love my major and the people in it, it has been so much fun getting to explore my interests that aren't clearly related to the medical field. Whether I'm choreographing a dance for my sorority's variety show or making a graphic for the College of Medicine Instagram, getting to use my creative side has been an incredible outlet. When you get to college, I want you to remember that it is just as important to get involved outside of your career path as it is within it. As far as academics go, I'm telling you right now that St. Ursula goes above and beyond preparing you guys. I'm coasting through classes that many of my peers are struggling to keep their head above water in, and I guarantee you that the classes you are taking here will set you up to do the same. I feel incredibly blessed to not have to stress about this as much and instead be able to focus on personal growth and adjust to a more independent lifestyle. My favorite part of college so far, though, has been the people. My roommate Brenna is the best friend I've always wanted in life. She's the kind of friend I can literally tell anything to without feeling judged, while also being the person I can just sit around with and be entertained. For those of you who have found your people in high school, I'm so happy for you, and I hope that those friendships last a lifetime. For those of you who haven't found that quite yet, I'm promising you that they are out there in your future, and college is full of incredible individuals who you are going to love. The best part about being a freshman is that everyone wants to make friends, and just about everyone is within walking distance. If you have someone you want to get to know more, all it takes is a simple text asking if they want to study together or grab lunch at the dining hall. They very well might become one of your best friends for the next few years and maybe even for years to come. I hope that you all are excited about all that is to come for you guys. I know that the stress of applications and college decisions can often overshadow the excitement that is going to come with these new experiences, once you have it all figured out. The support system that you have at SUA and the experiences you undergo during your time here will leave you more than prepared to step out into this next phase of your life. I can't wait to see all the incredible things your class accomplishes, and I hope you know that I will be there to cheer you on every step of the way. Good luck. And thank you.
All right, hi everyone. Again, my name is Mackenzie. I graduated last year with the class of 2020 with Maya. I'm a freshman at UC in the Lerner College of Business, like Katie. I am also studying finance. I do a double major in finance and marketing, and I find out my internship placement this week, so I'm really excited about that. So I had the unique opportunity to be both a senior in high school and a freshman in college during COVID-19. Personally, my last quarter at SUA was taken from me completely, but your entire senior year has been altered. It looks completely different from any other graduating class, both past and future. Although this past year has been extremely challenging and frustrating, trust me, there were a lot of tears this past year. I have a video of me crying the day that we found out that we weren't going back to school. I was really sad. There was a lot of lessons to be learned and obstacles to overcome, and looking back, the 4 Academy alum traits I was taught over my 4 years at SUA helped me immensely. I'm not gonna lie, I had not thought about those 4 traits until I was writing this speech, but if I look back over my time in college, I've been a thinker, leader, nurturer, and prophet more in the past 6 months than I was my entire 4 years of high school. I really don't think you'll fully understand the impact St. Ursula has on you until you graduate and take a step back to reflect on your life as a whole. Also, I'm gonna add a disclaimer. I never liked coming to these speeches because you think everyone that comes back and talks to you is BSing you and just saying what sounds good and what they think you want to hear. But in all seriousness, 99.99999% of the time, the girls that come back to talk to you genuinely want to be here and are being completely honest with you, telling you their experience and just honestly trying to help you. So, obviously college is a lot more difficult than high school. No matter where you go, St. Ursula does a great job of preparing us for college, but college just requires a higher level of thinking, time management, communication skills, and a whole new level of maturity. This is where being a thinker comes into place. Your success your freshman year of college sets you up for the next 3 years. You're no longer just trying to get a good GPA, graduate high school, and get into a good college. This is your career and your future that you're talking about. You're exposed to so much knowledge and experience, both inside and outside the classroom, and you can reflect on that information to make informed and rational decisions about your life, your education, your career, etc. It's important to be a leader both inside and outside the classroom. It's slightly difficult going from seniors with the implied authority back to freshmen where you actually have to work for it. But by taking charge of your college career, you become such an effective leader because you're surrounded by other natural leaders and you have to manage yourself. I was joking with my roommates, you have to be your own leader, which sounds really weird, but if you take charge of your life, then life's a lot easier. So I found that group projects were the easiest way to become a leader freshman year because you can work with a team and learn how to properly communicate, which means both talking and listening, and to create meaningful solutions to your assignment. So like last semester we did project strategy, and Kelly Hann was our group leader. She was graduated with me and Maya. She was a great leader, loved her. And like adopt class, I was the leader, and it was really challenging because of COVID. We had to work with the teachers in the Cincinnati public schools to figure out our schedule. Complicated, to say the least. So outside of school, getting involved will put you on the right path to leadership positions, really in any scenario. It took me a while to get interested because nothing was in person, and essentially no one was doing anything to COVID. Sorority Rush was entirely on Zoom, and even now that I'm in a sorority, I feel like I'm paying a large amount of dues to have chapter online and then do nothing else, because COVID sucks. Still, I got involved in things that interest me. I'm in Linder Women in Business and Finance Club, and I'm excited to get more involved both on and off campus after Corona. College is definitely more than just school and extracurriculars. Even with COVID, I think I've been able to make the most out of my freshman year of college. It's especially important to do things for yourself in college because you'll feel like you'll be pulled in 17 different directions. I love the nurture aspect of Academy Alum because there's so many ways to apply it. You can make friends, join clubs, go out, have fun, make mistakes. I'm a big proponent of making mistakes. That's the only way you really learn. College is a time for you to explore yourself and what you like. If you ever felt like you ever had to conform or fit in, you do not have to in college. There's something for everyone. I was blessed to find 3 roommates that have become my very best friends, and are also in my program, and then we became friends with each other's friends and just created a whole friend group from people all over the country. Finally, I think we are all prophets because we have persisted through the difficulties of this year. A global pandemic, political uncertainty, natural disasters, etc. We took these challenges face on and persevered. I've grown so much as a person because of the challenges I faced throughout my life. I think St. Ursula does a pretty good job of teaching about other religions, cultures, and beliefs. But by going to an all-girls private Catholic school, I would say I was pretty sheltered going into college. I'm now friends with people of all different religions, personal beliefs, and socioeconomic backgrounds, learning and understanding more than I ever have before. I also challenge myself to stay committed to my faith. You leave SUA, you no longer have those required religion classes every day, or mass once a month, or spiritual journey week, or faith days like this. I try and go to church as often as I can and read the Bible occasionally. It's really easy to get lost in all the newness of college, the freedom, you're not with your parents anymore, you have new friends, class, going out, and everything else. So I just do the best I can and accept that, and I really encourage you to do the same. So overall, college is really amazing, and you'll meet so many new people. I would say take all the good you've learned these past 4 years at St. Ursula and take it wherever you decide to go. You have so much potential, and I say that full confidence because you go to college thinking like, oh, I'm just a small person from an all-girls private Catholic school in Cincinnati. Like, who am I in this world? But you have so much potential, I guarantee you, and you'll do great in whatever you decide to do. Thanks.